Hello everybody, I'm Segers and I work for Visit Limburg, which is the marketing and communication organization for the province of Limburg. And I'm going to tell you something more today about the cycling experiences we have developed in Limburg. But maybe because you might not be acquainted with where Limburg is, we're situated in between the Netherlands, France and Germany, and in the south of Belgian Limburg. It's very important for us to say this. Some things we are famous for, first of all, our hospitality. We like to give people a warm welcoming and give them good food, good drinks and help them along. We're very important for our Limburg pie. That's very good when you come and visit Limburg, you have to taste it. But what I want to talk to you about today is the cycling paradise we have developed in the last 30 years. But as with a lot of things, it doesn't happen in one day. Yeah, we took 30 years to develop a cycle node network. We started from the things we have. In Limburg we don't have big cities. We don't have big cultural institutions with big collections. What we have is our nature, our landscapes, and a very big diversity of it. We have a mine region, we have water region, we have beautiful forests, an orchard region, we even have a desert, and we have very beautiful heathlands. And all those different types of landscapes are very close to each other. That's also very good, or very easy, very nice in Limburg. What we also have is a lot of heritage. You know, we have religious heritage, we have beautiful castles, heritage which is related with our mining history and other industrial heritage, and that is also very easily accessible by bike. So that is what we start from, our landscapes, our nature and our heritage. What we did is we started to connect these different parts by bike, like a metro system. Yeah, we connected one thing to another with cycle paths. On crossways we put numbers, and in that way it became very easily accessible for people visiting Limburg by bike. We also put up the oversight plans on these crossroads so that you can easily see where you come from, where you're going to. And that is how in the last 30 years we have developed our own special cycle node network. In the first 10 years we started, of course, by constructing. Yeah, there were no cycle paths, so we had to construct them. We wanted them to be car-free, comfortable and safe for travelers. The next thing, we started by connecting these cycle paths with the blue signs in two directions, so people can very easily know where they're going to and where they're coming from. And in that process, collaboration was very important. Yeah? As a province, we started the cycle node network, but we couldn't do it on our own. Collaborating with the 42 municipalities was very important, and only in that way we could create the cycle node network and the cycling paradise that we have today. Then in the second stage we started by making the cycle node network more comfortable, more accessible for people, by which we are famous for places where you can eat, drink, the Limburg pie for example. We also created places where people can hire a bike if they don't have a bike of their own. We also started to create several points where you get more information, the first experience about the things you are visiting. And we also started communicating about ourselves being a good place to cycle. So that was the first stage. But in those more or less 20 years, we also saw that we became a cycling paradise with numbers today of almost 4 million people visiting us a year. We have 2,000 kilometers, as was already said, in cycle paths, and you also see that we have a lot of cycle-friendly cafes and hotels where people can stay when they visit the cycle paradise. But of course, during those 20 years, other regions started copying us. Other places also started developing a cycle node network. So we knew that if we wanted to stay on top, if we wanted to remain the best, we had to do something more. And what we did in Limburg is we started to create an extra layer, an extra experience or an extra series of experiences on which by which people can visit Limburg. We got the idea for that extra layer from the Norwegian Touristwege, which is a series of car routes in Norway which connect the most beautiful nature places in the country. And what they do, what is typical, is that they bring people closer to these very beautiful nature scenes by means of architecture, art and design. But what they always do, they don't put the architecture in place of the nature. The nature always comes first, and they enhance or they reinforce the experience of the nature by adding certain high-level elements. And that is what we started also doing in Limburg. We started to create a series of cycling experiences. What was very important in creating those experiences is that we wanted to change the perspective. You know, we wanted to make people look in a different way at the nature elements, at the heritage elements that we wanted to focus on. Very important also was and is be authentic. Yeah, we wanted to start from our own DNA, and that DNA is the good nature, the good heritage, the great landscapes that we have. And in that way we wanted to stand out of the rest. Very important also is that what we built has to be both good for guests and local people. Local communities also have to benefit from what we create. The quality is very important. We always have a very high standard when creating cycling experiences. That is key. And of course, as I already said, when you want to build something, you have to work together. Collaboration is very important when creating these cycling experiences. And in that way, we started to create several cycling experiences in the different nature and landscape elements that we have in Limburg. The first one is cycling through water, a 200-meter cycle path through a pond in an area of what we call 1,000 ponds in the center of Limburg. And what we did here is we redirected the perspective of the people when they visit this area. So they're looking at the water at eye level, they are seeing the water, they're smelling the water, they get into contact with animals in the water. So that's what these cycling experiences is all about. Changing the perspective and making people look in another way at the beautiful nature that we have without disturbing the nature, always in harmony with that nature. We did not only create a cycle path. When we did cycling through the trees, we rearranged the whole area. We also did a lot of management things to improve nature, to improve the place where the amphibians and the other animals live. We also created 2 new vistas at cycling through water. This one is an old pigeon tower, and we redesigned the pigeon tower in a high quality way so that it can also function as a place where you can experience the ponds in a new way. The second one is on the other end of the pond. It's an old forestry house, and here also by minimal architecture we tried to improve the experience of the building, but also of the nature and of the cycle path, which is situated here. So you only see, when you look at it, you only see the heads of the cyclists cycling by, and that changes your perspective on the whole area. Of course, with that, the result was that we got a lot of, we did not only get a lot of people cycling it, but we also got international design and architectural attention with the winning of these different international architecture prizes. But most important for us, I think, was that we got elected in 2018 as one of the 100 places you had to visit in that year. And that was a very nice and very important reward for Limburg and for cycling through water. And here you see the time effect there. Even more people coming to cycling through water, but always, we were very glad that these people were here, and we found it very good, but always we try to keep the balance with nature. So that was always very important when looking at, when managing these cycling experiences. The second one, which was created in 2018, was cycling through the trees. It's a cycle path of 700 meters, which takes you up 10 meters into the sky. It's situated in the north of Limburg. And the third one is cycling through the heathland, which is situated in our national park, a national park in which we have a beautiful heathland landscape. We created a route of 4 kilometers. And this is the masterpiece of that route, on which you can have another perspective on the heathland, on the forests, and which gives you also a safe crossing of the motorway you can see on the picture. Very important also to notice is that we specially created the cycle path in this way, so that there were no barriers for example, the snake, which is typical for this country part, to cross the path. In that way we also ensured that animal life could prosper in this area. Here you see the projection of the figures we will reach this year normally, during the summer more or less. We predict that in the summer we will have 2 million people visiting since the opening. Since the opening, 2 million people will have visited cycling through the trees, 1 million for cycling through the trees and 500,000 for heatland. But that's not all. We still have got other plans. The first plan is cycling underground, which we will create in marled stone caves in the south of Limburg. And what we want to do there is create the special atmosphere of the caves, which is related to the humidity, the darkness, playing with light, the special drawings and graphics which are inside of the caves of people which used to do the excavation. And that's the project we are working on now. This summer we will also be opening this special cycle path in between the terrails. The terrails are old slag heaps of the mining industry. And in between two of those heaps we are creating this very beautiful cycle path, which gives you another perspective, a new perspective on these terrails and on the water parties that have been created during the mining period. And a result of that, we want to stay on top of mind a cycle paradise, which is multi-layered and which is also internationally connected to the other regions. Voilà. I hope you come to Limburg and visit our